Increasing comparisons between President Obama and President Carter in the wake of an anti-American violence in dozens of countries. Congressman Allen West saying President Obama has clearly surpassed former President Jimmy Carter and his actions during the Iranian embassy crisis as the weakest and most ineffective person to ever occupy the White House. Congressman West joins us, so let me ask you, sir, can you back up your statement?
I absolutely can back up the statement. I think if you look at what has happened in 1 week from September 11th to where we are today, think about how many of our American embassies and consulates have been attacked and been ransacked, the fact that we have lost an ambassador, the fact that you have lost a fighter pilot, a squadron commander in Afghanistan, and 6 fighter jets and 2 other fighter jets that were damaged. That's just in the course of a week.
Why is that his fault? I mean, it's like this is a world of great turmoil. Why is it his fault?
You're the commander-in-chief, and that's the responsibility you have. And let me put this in context. You ever heard of Operation Vengeance?
No.
Operation Vengeance was 1943. It was the operation where we found out the flight route for Admiral Yamamoto, Japan's Admiral Yamamoto. And there was an Army Air Corps fighter pilot that shot him down. Now, do you think that that was an act of foreign policy? Did that mean that World War II ended? You continue to hear from this administration, and Joe Biden says that Osama bin Laden is dead. They're going to base their entire foreign policy and national security strategy on that. That's insane. That's a tactical level success. That's not strategic level thinking. And so when you look at what is happening all across the Middle East, and there is a parallel with Jimmy Carter, when you depose a leader in the Middle East, you have to think about the second and third order effects. Who's going to fill that leadership void? And history has shown that when you have that type of void, radical Islamists are always looking to fill that gap. And that's exactly what has happened in Egypt, and we see that occurring in Libya as well.
At the start of the show, I heard, Senator Lindsey Graham was on tape and has said that bin Laden is dead is not foreign policy.
And that's the exact truth. Bin Laden is being dead is not foreign policy. Foreign policy is what are your strategic level goals and objectives in the respective areas of responsibility, being at the Middle East, being at the Pacific, being in our own hemisphere here. That's what foreign policy is. And the relationships that you develop with your friends and allies, and also the stances you take against your adversaries.
Governor Mitt Romney has no foreign policy experience. Of course,
and the current president had none either.
Well, and he had no, I was going to say that he had none coming into office. What makes you think that a Governor Romney, President Romney, would be any better at foreign policy than President Obama?
Because I will simply go back to what we saw this past Sunday, when you had UN Ambassador Susan Rice running around talking about everything that happened is because of a video. It is all about who you surround yourself with. And I believe that Governor Romney will surround himself with the people that understand strategic level decision making, foreign policy, and national security, and not just people that are going to tell the emperor that he has no clothes and go out and say that Osama bin Laden is dead and therefore we have a sound foreign policy and national security strategy.
Do you think they hung her out to dry, or do you think they actually believed that on the day that she came out, she went to every single Sunday morning show?
Every single Sunday morning show.
But I mean, do you think that they truly believed at that time, or they had some purpose, or they hung her out to dry?
I think that they thought that maybe Ambassador Rice could sell that line. And when you really look at why would they send the UN ambassador out to talk about something that is either State Department related, because we're talking about embassies and consulates, or is national security related, so you should have had the Department of Defense out there. You know, for her to sit up and talk about it was not a well-coordinated attack, you have to ask, what's your line of expertise to understand what a well-coordinated attack is? So I think they really believed that they could send someone out that could sell that line, and now they see that they have to backtrack, and it looks horrible for this administration.
Indeed, they've done a lot of backtracking in the last few days. Congressman, nice to see you, sir.
Always a pleasure.